the inside the entrepreneurial mind. Entrepreneur is a person who has novel ideas, who has the creative thinking, and he can convert his idea to a product or service that to meet the customer's needs and wants. So we'll try to understand inside the entrepreneurial minds. So first of all, we'll discuss the outline of the lecture. First, I am going to discuss the definition of the creativity and innovation. Can we learn to be creative? Whether we can study to be the creative, and human brain works from the innovation. How the human brain works for innovation and elements of the creativity. Especially, I am going to discuss these four topics today. Creativity and innovation. You know that creativity is the ability to develop new ideas and to discover new way of looking at a problem and opportunities. So the person or the innovator who can develop a new idea and to discover a new way of looking at a problem, normally we call will be the innovator. And the successful innovator may have the novel ideas, not only one, a set of ideas, and using a set, that idea will match for the different requirements of the customers or the unmet needs, and he tries to develop the product or service using that idea. And innovation is the ability to apply the creative solution. You can understand the creativity, ability to apply the creative solution to the problems or the opportunities to enhance or to enrich the people lives. So that why the entrepreneurs use this one. Using these creative ideas, he is trying to apply and develop a creative solution. By applying that creative idea, he will try to develop the creative solution that will satisfy for the people's unmet or unrequired needs. Then when we consider the failures just past of the creative process, that we can't believe that all these creative ideas would be the creative innovative product or service, but not for every 3000 new product ideas. You can understand these figures. The 3000 new product ideas, 4 make it to be development stage. Only 4 make it to be development process. Out of that 4, 2 are actually launched and 1 becomes a success in the market. So you have to understand these figures. Sometimes 3000 no more new product ideas, but 4 make it to development stage. Then 2 are actually launched. Out of that 2, only 1 becomes a success in the market. So average new product account for 40% of companies' sales. If that company or the person could succeed that product, he could get a big advantage from that. Next, can we learn to be creative? What do you think about? Can we learn to be creative? Yes, you can. So, but you have to do these things by overcoming uh, paradigms, and suspending your conventional thinking. If you are a traditional thinker, if your mind has trained to think towards one idea, you have to suspend that bit. Your thinking must be come out of the box, and you have to think differently, so that overcoming paradigms, and by suspending conventional thinking long enough to consider new and different alternatives. Don't think that all don't go behind the conventional thinking always. You have to think differently. Nowadays, you can analyze the different technologies are there. Then you can refer some books and you can refer the internet for a certain one, and you can think that how to develop a product or service in a uh, in a different way by giving the maximum of the users. So first, I will explain one simple example I thought for this COVID pandemic situation. So uh, I want, I wanted to monitor, I wanted to monitor the COVID quarantine patients. As last week also I explained that my one of my research I did last few months. So I read some research papers. Then all research papers introduce some wearable devices and some sensors, or else they use some advanced technology. But the country like Sri Lanka, or else there are some countries below our countries, we can't spend the money for the wearable devices with the uh, exponential growth of the patients. So the development cost is there, time is not enough. So by suspending this conventional thinking, conventional methods introduced these some research papers, I thought how to use the existing technology with the existing devices, how to monitor the COVID patients. So I try to use, I introduce a system using the mobile phone. So mobile phone has a certain, that we can get the mobility of the patient or the person who has the mobile phone by activating the data, so that that there is a sensor to get that, so that no need to spend the money for the additional devices. So mobile app is one good way to get the information from the COVID quarantine patient. Likewise, that is the more effective, as well as we can use the existing technology. There is no any burden to the country, and the high demand that the country wants such like of a system. So likewise, you have to think out of the box and suspending your conventional thinking. Suspend your conventional thinking. Okay. Then another one is Bird's model of entrepreneurial uh, intentionality. This this model is called the Bird model for entrepreneurial intentionality. So that there is a set of opportunities in a social or political or economic context, and the person has a special characteristics and his background and his personality and his ability. But by combining these two, the innovator can have a rational or analytic thinking or goal directed behavior. So if there is a certain uh, unsatisfied need or wants, with that is all the opportunity, getting using his personal history, background and personality or the abilities, he can think that, analyze analyze directed to that idea, and initiative thinking and the vision. He may have a vision. So by combining these two, so he may have the intentionality of that product or service, and then that intentionality can uh, develop as a product or service that is also called the actions. So this is called the Bird's model of entrepreneurial intentionality. So when you apply this one to the any product, innovative product or service, you can understand these characteristics. So then our brain, there are two parts, left brain and the right brain. The left brain is working differently, as well as the right brain is working the two sides of the brain will work differently. So right brain is called the creative thinkers, always ask, is there a better way? Or challenges customers, routine and traditions. Challenges customs, routine works and the traditional, and also and reflexive, that is deep thought, and also prolific thinkers, the productive, creative and innovative, also play mental games, the right brain creative thinkers, and also realize that there may be more than one right answer. As I told you, the one, if there is a certain problem, there may have different ideas to solve that, but you have to use the you have to use the optimal idea as well as the most attractive one and most feasible one to solve that. So see mistakes as pit stop on the way to success, and relates seamlessly, understand ideas to the problem and have a helicopter skills. What is this helicopter skill? Not always look from up. If there is a problem, always look from the upper. Then he will see all the aspects of that one, and also understand what failure is a natural part of a creative process. So sometimes there may have a failure, it will be a natural part, and relate seamlessly unrelated ideas to the problem. So the left brain and right brain. So entrepreneurship actually requires this both left and right brain thinking. The right brain thinking draws on divergent reasoning. Divergent reasoning, the ability to create multitude of original, diverse ideas. Left brain thinkers counts the convergent reasoning. The right brain is a divergent reasoning, and the left brain thinking counts on convergent reasoning, the ability to evaluate multiple ideas, not focus on one, and focus on other ideas also, and choose the best solution for the problem. Here you can see in your brain how to work left brain and right brain. Left brain biased attributes actually control the right side of the body. Left brain control the right side of the body. Right brain control the left side of the body. That is how it's work. And verbal, analytical, abstract, two-dimensional, objective, logical, rational, factual and quantitative things are done by this left brain. The right brain also, there is a set of things, controls the left side of the body, visual, meditative, concrete, three-dimensional things, and subjective, emotional, irrational and intuitive and qualitative things will be done by this right brain. So that the innovator must have both this left and right brain to innovate the successful product or service. So we will study this brain later also. So the linear creativity and lateral creativity. Linear creativity, logic and knowledge normally called, focus in depth and skill, hard work, experience and growth and expansion is expected from this linear creativity. The lateral creativity, initiative and imaginations, breathe, innovation, uniqueness, analogous and out of the box and non-logic things also done. So in this linear and lateral creativity also very important for the creative innovative process. You can see we have to use this both linear and lateral creativity, because linear creativity analyze in depth. The innovation comes from the lateral creativity. So elements of this creativity, when you analyze the creativity, it must be unique. That means original, as well as valued. That means useful. That creativity must satisfy. Creativity actually. Then the next step is the innovation. That creativity must be used for satisfy the unmet or unsatisfied requirement of the certain customer segment or the certain group of people. So that's why it's called the useful. Intended means the purpose. So definitely when you create something, there may have a certain problem or there may have a certain opportunity. Intention is there, the purpose is there. Otherwise you are not going to innovate or create things. And continuance, that means implementation excellence, that can be implemented. There may have some different idea that cannot be implemented with the existing knowledge or existing technology or existing or the available knowledge, as well as the technique, as well as the devices. So we have to satisfy. If it is a good creative idea, that must be satisfied these four characteristics: unique, valued, intended and continuance. Sometimes you may have some questions to spoil the imagination. So is there a new way to do that? When you have a certain problem and when you are going to innovate something, you may ask, is there a new way to do this? Because you want to satisfy the requirement using, you have to consider the cost for that one and the development. That means the technology, whether the existing technology can be used for that one. If it wants the high technology, sometimes the price will go up. So that always see whether is there a new way to do it, and can you borrow or adapt it. So think that whether you can adapt the existing product or service for that, and can you give it to a new twist, new turn. When you consider certain products, you can see the new twist. For an example, when you consider televisions also, then earlier you could remember the LCD monitors, LCDs. Nowadays we use the LEDs. And do you merely need more for the same? Nearly need more of the same, more things for the same one. And do you need less for the same? Likewise, you may ask different questions, like is there a substitute, whether you have to think that product has a substitute or not. When you consider the some products in the market, you can find some substitutes, whether it has a substitute in a cheaper price. Sometimes those substitute has more features than the others. Can you rearrange the parts, or can you rearrange the parts? And what if you do just it opposite? So you have to think all those things actually. Can you combine ideas, whether you can combine one or more ideas together to have that product or service? And can you put it to the other users? It, and from that product will satisfy for the different user segment also. And what else could you make it for this? And are there other markets for it? And can you reverse it, or can you eliminate it? Can you put into the another use? Likewise, different questions you may ask for this innovation when we are going to do a certain creativity, and what ideas seems impossible if it is executed would revolutionize in your business. And although there are several questions, but you as an innovator, or if you have a creative ideas, you can just see some of these questions. No need to have all these questions. Sometimes in the area that you are living, or the country that you are living, that your innovative product may have a high demand, even though the similar products are in a different country or the place. So when you consider the organizational creativity, how the people, how the employers who are working in that organization encourage for the creativity, then if you are a head of the company, or if you are head of that section, you have to motivate your people, subordinates, for the creative thinking. So you can include the creativity as a core company values. When you consider China, they have given the highest priority for the innovation. That's why they are introducing new product and services with cheap price. So if you are a head of the company, or head of that section, you have to include the creativity as a core company value, and embrace the diversity, as expect creativity, as well as expect the tolerate failures. Sometimes when the creativity is done, there may have some failures. Sometimes the thousands, even in the 100,000 of the rupees will be lost. In such case, you have to tolerate all those things, not blaming to the people who are trying to do the innovation. Think that if that innovation would succeed, so you can't imagine how much the company can gain. So if it fails, you have to tolerate it also. Actually, there are two types of entrepreneurs, that is entrepreneur and intrapreneur. Entrepreneur is when you consider the multinational companies, they have the separate R&D department. The separate R&D department, they have a large number of highly qualified researchers there. The multinational company has the marketing research division. In the marketing research division, they analyze the customers' needs and wants frequently, and give the idea to the marketing research division, give the ideas to the R&D department. Then the R&D department having some brainstorming sessions. I will explain what is the brainstorming later. The researchers select the set of researchers and give that idea and ask them to develop the product or service, and the total cost for that will be given by the company. Sometimes the idea will totally fail. In such case, the company bear that idea, not blaming to the R&D staff, so that expect and tolerate the failures. And also create an organization structure and nurtures the creativity. Always create the organizational structure for that, as well as organize some competitions for the creativity, the best creative idea or for the idea generation, as well as if they launch the product, and give some rewards, encouraging the creativity. Then you can get more creative ideas from the people if you give the freedom and the required resources to the staff, or the staff to think the creative ideas. And encourage curiosity, interest, actually encourage the interest of developing the new product or service and new ideas, and create a change of sensibly periodically. These are the things you have to follow if you are a head of that section. And others are view the problem as opportunities, and provide the creative training, and provide the support, and develop a procedure for capturing the ideas and viewing problems as challenges, and provide the creative training. So these things must be done, and also they will practice in the multinational organizations. I know one of the company here also, they are uh, manufacturing the surgical gloves and industrial gloves. They have the separate unit called the global engineering. So global engineering, actually they try to develop the creative ideas, creative solutions to reduce the number of people in the production line, so that they could develop different new ideas, as well as the product or new solution in the production line. And higher management support is very, very important, and always encourage the people, and talk and interest with the customers. Also customers, you discuss not the marketing research division will interact with the customers, look for users for your company's product or service in other markets, and reward the creativity, as I told you before, model creative behavior, and allow yourselves to be creative. And people, the always encourage, as I told you, these are I discussed it in the previous also, give your mind fresh in every day, and observe the products and services of other companies, especially those who completely different market. Recognize the creative power of the market, and notice that the missing. So you can find some different things of the industrial creativity. Keep a journal or record in your thoughts and ideas. This is how enhancing the individual creativity. If you have a certain idea, you better to write it and keep it. And listening to the other people's speeches, as well as the discussions about that. Then listening to the customers also give you a good idea for the new product or services. And talk to the child also. Sometimes the children may have some good ideas, and also do something ordinary in the unusual way. And keep a toy box in your office, and do not throw away the seeming the bad ideas, and read books simulating creativity, or take a class on the creativity, and take some time off, and be Persistence. Always try to uh, update your knowledge in your specialty. And idea file, or you can, as I told you, write your ideas and keep it one, and you have to create a network of the researchers. And once in a while, sometimes once in a week or once in a month, you better to exchange the ideas or have a discussion with them and read vigorously, as well as think in the opposites and look for a new use of the all thing. So look of a new use of the all thing. Sometimes you can do this one very frequently. Although I told these things, but there are some barriers for this creativity. What are these barriers? One is searching for the one right answer for one. So don't do that. If you search the one right answer, you will not be able to find that one. Sometimes the answer will, you have to use several answers to get the right one. And focusing on being logical. Always you try to be logical and always blindly follow the rules. Without any idea, you are going to follow a certain rules, and also consistently being practical. Also, weaving play as favor, fearless, weaving playing as fearless, and also becoming overly specialized. If you are over specialized, that also you are going to analyze each and every small things. If you analyze those things, you will not be able to apply anything. So that becoming overly specialized also one of a barrier for the creativity. And avoiding ambiguity, as well as fearing to look foolish. So you think that if I tell this idea, others will tell that I am a fool. So fear looking for foolish. No, don't think like that. Some, you know that the great ideas will not introduced by the great people. So great ideas, you know that, introduced by the general people always. The fearing mistakes and failures. Some people fear for the mistakes and failures. If these mistakes are not harm to a certain group, this is actually, this is the new idea. If you have if you make a mistake, no one will damage it. In such case, without fearing, you have to introduce your idea and believing that I am not creative. That also very, you have to remove this from your mind. I tell that all you have the creative ideas. You are creative. You are not creative. You are creative actually. And also, uh, how enhance the organizational creativity? We can enhance the organizational creativity having these things: expecting creativity, expecting the tolerating failures. If you tolerate it, and encouraging the creativity, viewing problems as changes, providing creativity training, providing supports, rewarding, as well as modeling creative behavior. And individual creativity also, I explain, allow yourself to be creative, give your mind fresh input every day. And when you wake in the morning, your mind must be fresh to think new ideas. Keep a journal. Actually, I earlier also I explained, read books on simulating creativity and take some time off. Here is the creative process. Process has several steps. First is preparation, and getting some ideas and reading some books. You have to prepare it. And investigation, whether there are some alternatives there, and if there are alternatives, what are the features of that one. Then then having your ideas and investigating the market, as well as you have to investigate even in the customer segment, the custom market size, everything you have to investigate. Then transform your idea to a product or service, and then incubation and development, illumination and verification, finally implementation. This is the creative process from the preparation to the implementation. When you consider preparation, actually, get your mind ready for the creative thinking, adopt the attitudes or a lifelong student, and read a lot, and not just 2 years. That is how to train your mind. And you have read the articles, interest you in the save them, and also take time to discuss your idea with the other people. So then your mind is ready for the creative thinking. Then join the professional or trade association and attend their meetings. Likewise, study. That is the preparation. Everything is preparation. Study the countries and their cultures. Sometimes travel to the new places and identify the behavior there, and develop your listening skills. You have listening for the others things also. Eliminate creative distractions. Investigation. So the investigation also, after that, you can use this preparation and investigation together. Then transformation is, then you have an idea, you have investigated the existing product or services related to that one, and involves viewing both similarities and differences among the information collected. And two types of thinking are required, that is convergent, I discussed earlier, and divergent thinking. Convergent thinking and divergent, the ability to see the similarities and the connections among various and often diverse data and events, able to see the difference among various data and events. Then, having this one, you can have a big picture by looking for the patterns that emerge, and rearrange the elements of the situation, and use synergetic thinking to seeming nonsensical ideas and combining them. Remember that several approaches can be successful. If one fails, jump into the another. So that in this transformation process, actually, I will discuss with you the idea how to select the optimal idea for the set of ideas. We can use the stage gate product development process to decide which idea is the best one for implementing. And incubation is allow you subsequences to reflect the information collected. Walk away from the situation, take some dreams, and relax and play regularly, and dream about the problem of the opportunity, so that you can now in the development stage you can do that, and work on the problem in a different environment. Illumination and verification. After this also, incubation and illumination can be done in the same way. Then verification is validate the idea as accurate as useful. Then from the preparation, you follow some steps, investigate, and transform your ideas to a product or service, then incubation and elimination, then verify whether that idea is best one. Validate the idea accurate and useful, and you can follow these steps. Is the really better for the solution? Will it work? Is there a need for that one? And if so, what is the best application for the idea to the marketplace? So that you can verify, you can place your product or service in the market, and you can get some ideas by introducing this from the customers, whether they accept or not. And the product or service fit into the core competencies. What are the core competencies? When you consider the company, there are several competencies. You have to develop, you have to work in your competency. If a company core competencies means, consider that Toyota car manufacturing company, they have the competence in manufacturing the vehicles. So whether the passenger vehicles and also the trucks and any types of the vehicles, they can have the competency of manufacturing that. What happen if they enter to the construction? They don't have any competence in the construction to construct the high-rise buildings or construct a bridge. They don't have the competence. Core competency is that. The core competency is the specialty that they have. And also, with their core competency, they have the core market share for their product. They have established their brand name in the market, for an example Toyota, and they have the core market share for that brand. So but they don't have any market share for the construction for the other one. So that the company must develop the vertically, not the horizontally. Horizontally means going to develop the different types of competency, but that is the horizontal. There are some companies that may have some horizontal core competencies also, but when you consider the multinational companies, they have developed in the vertically, that is they are going to develop their core competencies in vertical way, not the horizontally. That means developing the different core competencies. So having their core competencies, they have the special market share for that, special market share, so that they have the certain customers. They are not going they are not going to buy the different product. They always ask from the market in this product. So another good example is the Microsoft. They have the core competency of develop the system softwares and the other application packages. What would happen? What happened? They enter to the hardware development. I think you don't remember, or you don't know, the 5-6 years before, the Microsoft introduced one laptop, high specification laptop to the market, but they couldn't get the market share for that one, because they are not the hardware manufacturers. They have the competency of developing the software. And how much it will cost to product or service? With this core competency, they can produce the items with a cheap price, having the high standard and the features, and can we sell it the reasonable price that will produce the profit. So finally, the implementation. So implementation means get the market, and because see, they after verifying that one, they have the specified market for that, and they can if they sell that product, if they market that product, definitely uh, they can sell with the uh, with expected profit.